Hey everyone, it's Nick from Nick's Crossing, and today I'm happy to say I'm back filming at the rail trail. And it is a gorgeous day. It's a little overcast. It just kind of got a little bit colder, but still wearing shorts. I can't ride a bike in longer pants. That'd be really uncomfortable, and the hair's a mess. It is a little chilly out, but today we are filming from Seatsland, Pennsylvania, and I'm actually standing underneath of their passenger stall here in town. And today they're going to run their GP10 conversion from a GP9, and it's going to be coming down the tracks in about, I would say, about 10 minutes or so. I'm trying to find a good vantage point to get the train for you guys and get in a good frame. In front of me is actually the live crossing right off of the road that cuts through Seatsland, goes up to Glen Rock. I'm about 3/4 of a mile south of Glen Rock, and I'll show you guys around really quick. All right, so this is the Seatsland passenger stall right here, and it looks like it's recently been erected or created. Got brand new footings right here, and yes, they are called footings, not footers. And man, this thing's beautiful. Did a really good job with this. It looks really old school, and I love the sign, the artwork. It's got the old Pennsylvania Railroad color scheme right there, the gold and red. Looks gorgeous. All right, guys, this is the track going due north, and that will take you right into Glen Rock. I'm about 3/4 of a mile away. And then panning left here, this is Seatsland, Pennsylvania. It's a little town here. You have some businesses here, and then you also have the freight shed and feed stall. I love the artwork on there. It looks right out of a train garden. It's super cool. So it's almost 10:30 out here, and the train departed New Freedom around 10, so it should be here any minute now. I know the train is running this weekend to support the City of York Ice Festival. So I believe that there are ice sculptures in each little town. I believe there's one in New Freedom, Railroad, Pennsylvania, in their park. They have like a little pavilion there, and should be one also in Glen Rock. I'm not exactly sure how far the train is going up today. I think it was stopping in Glen Rock. It said Glen Rock Express on their website, but I could be wrong. It could be going up to Seven Valleys. So for what I heard, just by calling Steam Into History, or also known as the NCRR Railway, this summer they plan to extend the tracks going a little bit past Seven Valleys. They got a grant, and they're going to try to go up to the tunnel, which makes sense because when I filmed the tunnel, it's actually the Howard Tunnel. It's one of the oldest railroad tunnels in, I believe, America. The track was in kind of disrepair. I actually saw someone walking, between the ties, just kind of passing the time. And I could actually see the ties buckling, and they had some major issues. So I was wondering that. So it's great that they're going to get on that. I know some of these ties are older. I mean, they kind of just went off for what they were given. But these guys mean well. They're going to get this railroad up and running to go further and further. And I hope one day it goes to York. And if you go on Google Maps, this railroad, you can actually trace it all the way to York. I believe a little bit past the stadium. It actually goes in the center of one of the streets in town. It's amazing. And you kind of lose it a little bit. You see the tracks going, and you see them parallel to some old service spots off the tracks. And then all of a sudden, the tracks disappear, and you look closer, like, wow, this railroad goes in between the roads. So it's very old school. So any minute now, we should be able to see a train coming through here. And it's going to be an awesome sight. I miss having the train up here. I also miss working on my train stuff up in the attic and hearing the horns and whistles on the tracks every weekend. So I'm actually going to probably set the camera up on top of this hill and next to this cool little sculpture here. And I'll go up there and get a good vantage point of the whole road crossing here and the building and the frame. All right, guys, so I climbed up the hill really quick because I saw our flagger arrive and actually heard the horn. And it sounds like the GP10 engine will be out today. So he's getting ready to stop anyone coming across from the main road. And this road's extremely busy. This road will take you basically to Glen Rock. There's a side road there that will get you to Hanover, Pennsylvania. So it's a very popular way to cut through and kind of take a back road to Hanover. So in front of me, you can actually see these decorative bikes. And then there's my bike down there. Because the tracks are located within a valley here, you can actually start to see the contouring there. Any sound you have just travels right down the gully or the the trough of the mountainway here, and it's amazing because you can hear the engine a couple miles away. I believe New Freedom is several miles away, and you can actually hear the engine when it's in Railroad, Pennsylvania, which is probably about 2 or 3 miles down the road. So it's really cool to get that effect. And I love the horn on this engine. It's a beautiful sounding, it's like a tritone. And you can hear all kinds of things going off out here. You can hear, there's, sounds like a rooster in the background. There's someone shooting shotguns or shooting some type of firearm up the street from here. And yeah, it's amazing. So after the train passes by, I'm actually going to head south towards New Freedom. I want to get some video of some smaller trackside finds that I found biking this in the summertime when I moved out here. And the cool thing is that this time of year is the perfect time to do it because first off, you have no traffic on this path. I mean, you have a couple bikers, a couple locals just riding around. You get some runners and stuff. Compared to the busy season, I want to say from spring to fall, this path is extremely busy, and it is a gorgeous path. It connects between 2 states, Maryland and Pennsylvania. So I understand why it's busy. I mean, it's a very populated area, especially where it connects to in Cockeysville, Maryland. Several miles shorter of where I filmed the Pensy Railroad shed out there. So there's a couple of things I saw out there. I believe there are a couple old signal poles, insulator poles out there too. And there's our engine. The last time I filmed this engine, I actually felt the ground shake and my camera was moving. I had the tripod on the ground, so I wonder if I'll get the same effect up here on this hill. We'll see if she moves. I bet you it will. Let me actually get you guys better in frame here. I believe this gentleman here, his car was parked in way of the tracks. So they're telling him to move his car, which I wouldn't park anywhere near these tracks. You never know. You never know when a train will come down these tracks. Yeah, he just moved up a couple feet. Not the best place to park. All right, here she comes in reverse. Yeah, I'm not sure why that guy parked right there. That was not the best decision. I mean, literally he was feet away from the tracks, and then he kind of parked in the road here. So now we're gonna head south, which is this direction. We're gonna go towards New Freedom, and I'm hoping to capture the engine coming back into town. We'll probably end up catching it towards Railroad, Pennsylvania. All right, so this is trackside find number 1. This is not too far away from Seatsland. And this whistle pole is actually probably required for this railroad to stay up. It looks kind of awkward, it's away from the tracks, but you have to realize at one point, this railroad probably had 2 or 3 tracks through here. I mean, you can see it like right here. there's at least room for one more. And this is a whistle pole. This tells the engineer or whoever is operating the locomotive to blow the whistle. And sometimes you'll see different hash marks. Like it'll be like long, short, long. And that's actually the pattern of the whistle you're supposed to alert, most likely for your seats-link crossing. This is an older one. It does not have the hash marks. I've seen them for the Southern Railway, I believe, like Old Southern, which is really cool to see. So yeah, this is all made of like cast metal. I mean, you can see, yeah, it's definitely sturdy. It's not going anywhere. It looks like fiberglass, but it is cast metal. The bottom is probably concreted in the ground. So interestingly enough, we have two other trackside finds right here. And I'm not going to cross the tracks for it, just in case. So let's do the smaller of the two first. Well, yeah, I'm not going to cross there. Can't really see what's underneath those leaves there. This pole here looks like an old school telegraph or communications pole or an old signal. This is probably used for, getting information across the tracks. I wouldn't be surprised if you found old glass insulators down the hill. This goes down to Cockeysville Creek. I believe Cockeysville Creek is right there. And so if I can get a better angle, you can see on it that there are some plating, metal plates. You can see on this, there's actually 2 points to connect to make like a T or an X on here. And that would probably be covered with insulators, like the old glass insulators. But behind that is really cool. This is an old school Pensy rail signal. And it is kind of destroyed. I think they took the rungs off at the bottom, like right here, so you can't climb up there and get hurt or whatnot. But these are awesome. They're located all over the track. I think there's a couple more. And there's actually a couple more of insulator poles with the crossbars on them. So this is old. It's concreted in the ground with a footing, and it's awesome to see. So we're going to go down here a little bit further, and I assume the signal was here because of most likely the service that would have gone to that siding there with the depot or the feed stall or whatnot. So yeah, got 1 and 2, and then technically 3. So we're going to head down the tracks here, or actually head up the tracks, and see what we can find. All right, guys, so we're in Railroad, Pennsylvania now, and we're coming up on the borough. Like, the tracks go through. We're coming from that direction. This is mile 3 on the trail. And these are the ice sculptures that are from the York Festival, Festiv-ice. So it's really cool. The poor things are melting because the sun is beating down. All the overcast is away, so now it's warming up to the mid 40s today. So really cool. Almost reminds me of the Jägermeister deer, or the deer head for that. But then there's another one down here. Here's another one of the ice sculptures. You can actually see it's melting right now. But I'm sure in York they have like refrigerated tents and stuff. I might get out there this weekend. But it looks like I guess it's supposed to be like a dolphin with a ball. But you can just see these poor guys have probably been sitting out all night and in the rain. But yeah, you can also see a pile of snow on the ground from when we got the almost 2 feet of snow a couple weeks ago. So we're gonna head up the trail, and I actually hear the engine, so we're gonna film that coming through Railroad. So the train is going southbound towards New Freedom, so we're gonna get back riding and try to get to New Freedom area. I'm at the crossing here in Railroad, Pennsylvania. So up on the hill here, I just spoke to the owner of the home. He said that there used to be factories all up on the hill. And at one point there was a spur that came up the road here in Railroad. So we're going to do that as a future filming location. We're going to get up there and look at all the ruins. All right, guys, so we're outside of Railroad, Pennsylvania now, and almost to New Freedom. And I stumbled across this rail post here. This is like a mile post. It says 38, so I'm not exactly sure if that means 38 miles north behind me to Harrisburg, or 38 miles this way or that way to Harrisburg or Baltimore. And it's really cool. This actually has raised lettering here. So even if this paint would wear off, it's most likely some type of lead reflective paint. You could still see or get an idea of where you are. So if I find any more on the trail, I'll let you guys know, but this looks like the only one left. And also saw it had this concrete berm here holding back the track. So I wonder if there was another rail this way one time. So we're going to continue on now to New Freedom. All right, guys, so we're almost to New Freedom again. I found a couple cool finds. So what you guys are looking at, it's kind of hard to decipher within the trees. I'll actually get on the tracks really quick, or across the tracks real carefully. Let's look at that. And this is a whole pole for comms or communication. And for you guys out there who collect insulators, those little wooden pegs, if I can get it in shot here, those little wooden pegs, those guys there, would all be covered with insulators or railroad insulators. So usually on the ground you can find stuff, but I think this whole area is kind of picked over. But that would have been covered with them. And up top, it's got two porcelain insulators, so that's probably for aux power, to power their signals, or could be wrong, it could have been for communication lines. But these guys below, these guys here, and then that tree, and then that tree, would have been all covered with glass insulators. So I can't seem to find any other poles on this side. I know there's one other pole that's still up further down, and then further up almost to Seven Valleys, there's another pole. This is kind of crazy. I actually just spoke to someone on the trail. They said this power line has been down like this for almost 2 years. I mean, that's insane. It's alive. That's a live power feed. Look at all this stuff on top of it. And our insulator tree is right there. So kind of see it. It's kind of mixed in here, but it's there. So down here, we actually have two really cool pieces I'd like to show you guys. All right, so this is not too far away from the signal tree. It's actually a little bit, yeah, it's right there on the right side there. But here we have two, I believe these are Pensy style signal bridges or signal posts there. And they have the shield over top of them, so you can't climb them. This is pretty common. Just take a piece of, actually these are made of wood. Usually they're metal, and they lock over top. I've seen that in the Baltimore area and such. But yeah, look at that. These would have had the, I'm assuming the light style, or the white light system on them. And these, I believe, are here. There's the other one down there. I'm not going to get too close because you have to cross, and that engine's going to be leaving New Freedom shortly. Yeah, the face would have been on this side. This is because of this right here. And this is a, looks like a more modern switch. And this most likely was thrown electronically, just because the way, I'm assuming, just looking at the frogs and stuff, it looks a little bit more modern. So maybe when this was being used by Conrail and Penn Central, they converted it over, and looks like they just cut the line right there. It would have been a double track, which does pick up again, but I think for their purposes here, they don't need a double line. So we're gonna keep on going to New Freedom, see what else we find. All right, guys, we made it to New Freedom. So they're running 6076, which is their Adirondack Scenic Railway GP10. I mean, this is awesome. I'll give you guys a look at the front. Well, technically it's the other way is the front, but and there she is. This train's departing from New Freedom at 1 p.m. We'll be going up to Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania. And this is the front of the locomotive right here. So, like I said, F means front. Actually see, I believe these are the jack positions here, so you can jack the frame up. And yeah, I mean, it's just the classic diesel from EMD. Hey, look at this thing, it's like a monster. Even has the plow on the front, which is pretty cool. I've never seen that down before, but maybe it doesn't come down. But yeah, here she is, 6076. And so we can get the other side of the engine. Walking across the tracks here. Oh yeah, there's the other side. You can see some of the braking mechanisms, and I like the pinstriping design on this engine. It's really cool. There's your air tanks right there. These are for your air. And here's your giant fuel tank. And the brakes are engaged, so look at that. And that tube coming down is for your sand, for your traction. And then what just cut on now is your compressor. You can hear it knocking. Which is located somewhere in those doors. Alright guys, so we're leaving New Freedom now, and this is actually a complete, looks to be a Pensy rail signal using the yellow light lenses. It looks like the lenses are still there, which is pretty cool compared to this one. You can actually see the wires hanging out for that. And this one's all complete, so that's really cool to see. And this would have been the New Freedom yard in here. And where I'm standing would have had another probably 2 tracks going down here, and then this is all, you can see like a warehouse here, and you can just see where the tracks would have been. This would have been insane. You can actually see this, the stone barrier there. It's probably for kind of like organizing tracks. Like on the other side might have been freight, this side would have been passenger, and then we're actually right at the New Freedom station here. And I had to stop and take a video of these really quick. These are Pensy Railroad cabooses that I could not get footage of when they were running the steam engine, number 17. But these are pretty cool. You can see they have, you know, here's your braking system, your air tank there. And these are old. They have the old school hot boxes, which are these guys here. Those are eventually banned because of overheats. They cause a lot of fires and derailments. Not sure what that's for. Let's see. If you guys can tell me in comments what that's for, I'd appreciate it. I'm assuming it's something to do with brakes, but the battery boxes, or a battery box would have been, I believe, located in here somewhere. I know that's a brake cylinder there, but I'm not sure where the battery boxes are. So this one is pretty cool. It says Chesapeake region. So I'm assuming that would have been maybe the Baltimore area, Harrisburg, on that corridor. That's where the Chesapeake is. Here's one of the other ice sculptures. Unfortunately, this guy is not having a good day. Apparently these were set out last night. So, and then here's the other Pensy caboose. This is called Middle Region. So I'd assume that's where, I guess, the Harrisburg area and such. Not exactly sure. But Chesapeake region, that just screams to me like B&O and Pensy would be very close to one another around the Baltimore area. But yeah, these cabooses look great. Classic Pensy red. And look, they're filming me too. So it's a duel. And this is the other side of the New Freedom Station.